Before buying Twitter, Elon Musk called the online platform the de facto public town square. When hearing this, you may have wondered, what is a public square anyway? The simplest answer is an open space in an urban area which is accessible to the general public. This can be a market square, a parade grounds, a park, or a town common. However, Musk's use is clearly metaphorical. This conception of the public square harkens back to ancient Greece. Although many ancient cities had wide streets, markets, and parade grounds, the particular open space to which the metaphor refers began with the agoras of ancient Greece. Agora means assembly or gathering place, and each Greek city-state had one. The area of the Athenian agora was used as far back as the Neolithic era. Excavations have unearthed Iron Age tombs and graves. At the beginning of the 6th century BC, the flat accessible area was gradually transformed into a space with public buildings and workshops. It became the place where citizens bought and sold goods, mustered for military campaigns, heard civic announcements, and discussed politics and philosophy. It is regarded as essential for the development of democracy in ancient Greece. The agora, and by extension the public square, has several characteristics which distinguish it from other open spaces accessible to the public, like the gardens in contemporaneous Assyrian cities. Most importantly, the agora had no owner. It belonged to the community. Centuries later, Rome had its forum, which served many of the same purposes during the Republic. Vitruvius, a 1st century Roman architect, wrote that the forum should be close to the harbor if the city is on the water, or at the center of town if the city is inland. During the Renaissance, architects and philosophers like Leon Battista Alberti took an interest in the concept of the ideal city. As in other areas, thinkers of the Renaissance looked back at Roman precedents, especially as described by Vitruvius. The forums of the Romans became the piazzas of the Renaissance. Beginning in 1459 in Pienza, Italy, Bernardo Rossellino put these Renaissance town planning concepts into practice. He placed the cathedral, public buildings, and a palace around a piazza. Other examples of towns whose plans were inspired by the dreams of ideal cities are Palmanova in Italy and Zamość in Poland. Both of these towns incorporated open spaces into their plans. The European colonization of the Americas saw a large number of new towns and cities established. Spain created guidelines for the plans of the towns. In 1513, King Ferdinand gave instructions about the planning of new cities in which he told founders to leave space for a plaza. The guidelines continued to evolve, but the central plaza would become characteristic of colonial Spanish cities in the Americas and can still be seen in many Latin American cities today. While researching this video, I noticed that lists of the world's best public squares tended to cluster in two categories. One set was comprised of large, imposing public squares, and the other was made up of more intimate spaces used by locals. This second type of space had a greater influence on town planning in North America. The town of New Haven, Connecticut was founded in 1638, and there is a plan from that year which shows at the core a grid of 9 squares. The center square is set aside as a town green. The town green still exists today. Before drawing up the plans for the city of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, William Penn participated in the establishment of 2 towns in New Jersey. One of the notable features of the plan that Penn and Thomas Home published in 1683 was the appearance of 5 squares. At the center was a square around which they envisioned public buildings. In addition, there were 4 smaller squares intended for public recreation. These were likely inspired by Lincoln's Inn Fields, an outdoor space in London, which was privately owned but open to the public. Public squares continued to be a feature in American town planning. During the 20th century, however, many squares became cut off from the surrounding urban fabric as roads were changed to accommodate motor vehicle traffic. Today, some are being reconfigured to be friendlier to pedestrians. Does your city have a public square? Do you think Elon Musk's metaphor is apt? Can a public square be privately owned? Is it even possible to have a public square on the internet? Let me know what you think in the comments.